Hello, everybody. It is August 4th, and we're here with another episode of the L1 News. Today.
I don't know why it's August. That's just...
Oh, that is crazy. And today we're doing business, and there are two space stories just tacked on at the end of business.
But first...
Oh, yeah. So this is zero sugar orange cream soda. Now, orange cream was no sugar. The cream. How do you do cream without sugar? Well, Virgil's has just about figured it out. It's got... The taste is perfect. It's the aftertaste.
Maybe it's stevia?
Is the aftertaste terrible?
It's not terrible, but it's
Unique?
Unique, yeah. I don't really know how to describe it. So this is 0 calories, 0 fat, 0 sodium, 12 grams of carbohydrates. That's 4% of your U.S. daily values. And the ingredients are sparkling filtered water, sweetener blend with erythritol, stevia leaf extract, monk fruit extract.
That erythritol, that's the one that makes me super gassy.
We'll know in a minute. Natural flavors, ascorbic acid, citric acid, and L-parcotine.
Monk fruit is like the new hipster sugar replacement compared to stevia.
That's what all those fancy cereals and stuff are made from.
Yeah, a friend of mine, she won't give her kid, she'll let him have sugar occasionally, but she tries to do, if he has anything sweet, it's sweetened with monk fruit extract or whatever.
I wouldn't drink this to quench my thirst. I wouldn't drink this on, a hot afternoon looking for something amazing.
I will not drink it in a car. I will not drink it near or far. So what is the proper venue for that?
At a bar, so people think you're drinking a beer, because the label looks like a beer.
It looks like a hipster beer, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It's like there's a guy. Well, no, he literally has 2 beer steins. I guess that's probably. I noticed they have root beer. There's a Virgil's root beer, which is probably pretty good. But this isn't bad. This is probably the best diet orange cream that I've ever had.
Oh wow, better than Stewart's?
Yeah,
wow.
Well, diet. So
I think Stewart's makes a diet though, don't they?
But there's not the weird lingering negative aftertaste reaction, but there is kind of an almost chalky lingering aftertaste.
Wow. The best and chalky seem like a weird combination.
Yeah.
It's slightly chalky. It's not like you took a piece of chalk and just run it around the inside of your mouth.
Flintstone vitamin drink.
As I do so often.
It tastes more like, sometimes when you got detention and you had to clean the erasers and you made the cloud of dust cleaning the erasers and you got just a little taste of it, it's like a more subtle version of that.
Okay.
Not selling it. Not selling it to me.
But the taste is delightful.
Well, that's an interesting review. It doesn't make me want it, for sure.
You should try it if you're into orange cream soda.
We're available for sponsorships.
And there's something else that you might want to try, although I'm not sure why you would because it seems very underwhelming, and now it's delayed.
Playdate consoles pre-orders will not ship until 2022. Well, they're shipping the original 20,000. Those are still on schedule, but the more people order it, the more they're moving the orders so that they can fill all of the orders. So the first 20,000 that were Kickstarted or whatever, they're going to go, but everything else is probably 2022.
Less computational power than the original Game Boy, I believe.
What's the point? I loved the original Game Boy, but...
I don't know. People are into it. They're buying so many of them that it's delaying them. I hope that's not using up any valuable chips that could have gone into literally anything else.
Yeah.
And speaking of chip making, oh boy, does this company have a plan now. I seem to remember them coming up with a different plan a few years back. How did they do about reaching those goals?
Qualcomm and Amazon to boost Intel's plan to leapfrog chip-making rivals by 2025. CEO Pat Gelsinger says a torrid pace of innovation helped convince Amazon and Qualcomm to pay Intel to build future processors. So this was a big press event from Intel, and it was unprecedented because they're changing their naming convention. They're moving to 7 and 5 and 20A for the A's for angstroms and a lot of other stuff to try to get things back on track. This is sort of a very, very positive spin kind of admission thing from Intel that's like, hey, things have not gone according to plan internally. We're going to do some drastic changes to try to get things back on track, and hopefully we'll be in a leadership position again sometime late next year or the year after.
Are they assuming that AMD is going to stop?
No, I mean, Alder Lake is looking pretty promising, and there's some other stuff, but they want to really get head and shoulders ahead. So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, everybody does.
Yeah.
Well, they've got a shot at it,
But
they
haven't done very well.
Not so
Is the
far.
thing. Although AMD had their down years too.
Yeah.
It is cyclical.
AMD had a lot of down years. A lot.
One exciting piece of technology, actually I'm not super excited about it. It is impressive, but it seems like a lot of people are really into this and really hyped for it. Some people are calling it the Gabe Boy, which is hilarious.
Oh, I love that. I'd not heard that before.
But they are making quite a claim. Now, I assume they mean right now and not at launch, right? Because they don't know what's going to happen between now and launch in terms of gaming.
Yeah, probably right now, yeah.
So probably like as of today, they're making this promise. Still very impressive.
Valve promises the Steam Deck will run the entire Steam library at 30 plus FPS. This is a handheld game console with a 720p screen and controls and
800p.
touch. Well, 800p.
And that's probably a big reason it can get away with running every game, right? I mean,
1280 by 800, yeah.
pretty easy resolution to deal with.
Well, it's 15 watts though. So I mean,
Is this going to be like the Sega Game Gear where you have to recharge it every 10 minutes? Although in that it was just batteries back then.
yeah, I don't.
I'm interested in the Steam Deck. I don't know that I will buy one right away. I'll probably wait to see some reviews. But
I put in the $5 pre-order.
Oh, really? Which version did you get?
I get the very cheapest one because I figure I can upgrade
You
it.
think you can do your own?
Yeah.
What if they solder that stuff in there?
They asked and they said that it is upgradable. So if it's soldered, I will be very upset.
Well, you know what is super upgradable? And this is a very interesting idea. And I got to say, with all the concessions they made, it's not massively huge or ugly. So this idea that you can't make sleek modern laptops without ruining them kind of rings untrue.
One of our patrons sent us theirs to review, and it's downstairs as of 20 minutes ago.
It's a really good idea.
Framework laptop review. A functional and future-proof 13 inches. It's the poster child for the right to repair movement. Framework's modular laptop is one of the smartest designs that I've seen in a long time. So the screen, the keyboard, the case, the ports on this side, they're all modular. And so if you want different ports, you buy different modules. And if you want a more powerful motherboard, you buy another more powerful motherboard that'll fit in there. Do you really need to upgrade your screen every single time you upgrade your laptop's innards? Probably not. What about if you want to replace the battery? Well, it's super easy to do.
that's incredible.
And in fact, they don't even ship it with the upgraded specs. They ship you the base model with the extra parts. It's just up to you. That's how they roll. I like it.
Yeah, it's a lot more sustainable too. Like you're not going to generate as much trash. You'll still generate a little, but not nearly as much.
They do also have like some kind of network of partners who will do the work for you if you don't feel comfortable with it. So you can just take your part kit and they'll give you an address and you go and they will put it together.
Or in our case, you can join Patreon and pay us exorbitant fees and give us early access to your hardware, and we'll do it for you.
I'm sure that person was capable.
They were just being nice. That's correct.
And Facebook, their big distraction, this week, the distraction from, Apple's killing our business model. But don't think about that. Think about this.
Facebook's next hardware launch will be its Ray-Ban smart glasses, stepping stone towards full augmented reality glasses, says Mark Zuckerberg.
Not an actual photo
No.
of the glasses. That's an actual photo, but not an actual photo of the glasses.
But will they work with my $10 one frame busted out Target glasses? That's what matters.
No, you must. There's going to be hardware. Here's a
No,
prototype.
it should
Here's the
work with
research
mine.
glasses.
Oh wow,
They look like the glasses I had to wear when they were correcting my lazy eye.
that's thick, thick glasses.
So presumably, Ray-Ban and Luxottica will not sell something that dog ugly. They'll probably beautify it a bit, but I think it will be bulky enough that people will be like, wait a minute.
It's not as bad as like my memory of Google Glass.
Yeah, theirs was terrible.
Yeah.
I just want a pair of glasses that makes it look like you've got a thick rectangular unibrow. That's all I want.
How
I just want to
about,
look like a Star Trek character.
could I interest you in a pair of glasses that simulates sticking your head into a beehive?
Facebook pauses sales of the Oculus Quest 2 due to face irritation concerns. Silicone cover to the foam faceplate is being offered as a solution and will be included with the new 128 gig model coming August 24th. My prediction is it's the flame retardant.
Oh.
So some people, and it does seem like a pretty low number of people, are really reacting poorly to this, especially if they wear it for a long time. And the worst case is the eyes swell completely shut.
Probably the flame retardant.
They're not going to change the materials. They're going to send you that little piece of scrap paper that you can put in front of your face. And that's pretty much the end of it, I think.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's
It says it's silicon. Usually,
Well, I'm sure there's more than that in there.
yeah, so there must be something else that's causing people to break out.
a delightful thing that, we in civilized America, like, the socks are cheap enough at Walmart that you could never wear the same pair of socks twice for the rest of your life, but the flame retardant in it will really irritate the crap out of your feet.
No, you got to get wool socks.
Were you saying if
100%
you
worth
don't
it.
wash them first? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? Oh, okay. I think it used to be really popular in certain urban communities to just throw away your white T-shirt every day, like wear a brand new white T-shirt every day.
That probably flame retardant would be a
But
problem.
I find them uncomfortable and stinky, don't you? Like that factory smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think all the times that I bought clothes, even when I just ordered something online, I'm pretty sure that I've washed it before I've used it.
Yeah.
It's the usual way of doing it. Same with like dishes and stuff. You always wash them before you use them.
Because usually you smell new clothing and you're like, yeah, that smells like a Vietnamese factory. In August.
Without air conditioning.
We talk a lot about planned obsolescence, but how about a little bit of planned obsolescence that might not have even been planned? This is just a happy fortune for Amazon.
Amazon's older Kindles will start to lose their internet access in December. Devices can't connect to Wi-Fi will be out of luck.
Why? Did they plan this? No, this is 3G.
Yeah.
3G is going away.
Rip.
We could ship these off to countries that still use 3G, right? Like Africa probably uses 3G, right? Maybe not because they built their infrastructure later than us.
Yeah. They've got those fancy Huawei 5G towers that nobody else wants.
The ZTE stuff, they got them at basement prices too.
Yeah.
Well, the crypto world was kind of whipsawed a little bit this week because people are constantly cruising anything that Amazon does to try to get some sort of lead on the market. And they found a little job posting that excited some reactions.
Amazon denies report of accepting Bitcoin as payment.
So they listed a job for someone who was going to be dealing with blockchains and accepting payments and stuff like that. So some reporters said, well, obviously, right? It's obviously what's got to be happening. Amazon says no.
But they did hire a blockchain expert.
I think that, yes. I think they're saying no. But what they mean is,
We're looking into it.
we don't want you to know.
Definitely maybe.
If they start accepting Bitcoin, that is going to be massive. Right?
Yeah, that would be. Because a lot of people just use Amazon.
Yeah. Well, internal chats are constantly a problem in big companies. Google had a lot of issues with their internal chats. And what did they do when that happened? Well, the same thing they all do when it gets controversial.
Apple is closing down internal Slack channels where employees debate remote work because Tim Apple would really like you to come back to the campus. And a lot of people are like, for what I do for Apple, I'm getting a lot more done not having to deal with you people.
And that kind of stuff is not tolerated in the old Apple Slack channels. Shut them down. Kind of like if you're at Google talking about AI morality. I
can't wait for the threshold to cross when those messages are just quietly deleted, like WeChat. Because it's like, oh, I have a problem with the Communist Party. And then the message they receive on the other end is, don't respond to this.
It'll be the ghost ban where you think it's posted,
Yeah.
but you don't get any responses to it.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Or fake response that's like, I don't really care. But only, the ghost response thing.
They're very obviously like Apple bots. They all have the logo for their... No, I love working in the office.
Well, if you're an early adopter, but not the earliest adopter, then maybe this is the right temperature for you. This is kind of like the Goldilocks of pre-release. The full dev build, no, it's too rough. But right in the middle is the first beta.
Windows 11 now has its first beta release. You've previously only been able to install the rougher dev build. It's still got some rough edges. I'm working on a video about the scheduler. Did they improve the scheduler to handle beyond 32 cores? Spoiler alert, no. A little.
We've had several of the big tech leaders weigh in on when the horror will end that we are currently in, and the news has pretty universally been bad.
Yeah.
No different coming from Microsoft.
Microsoft, the component shortages are not going away anytime soon. Microsoft officials are warning that component shortages have affected and will continue to impact Windows, Surface, and Xbox's console business.
Yikes. So that's not surprising. We've heard that from everybody. Oh, this was a missort. This should have gone right after the Apple one because Google, they had already actually made their decision, but it might have been premature.
Google delays a return to the office and mandates vaccines.
Can we say the D word?
No.
The D word.
That airline.
Oh.
That's the reason.
Alpha, beta, gamma.
So, yeah. A little bit of a reprieve for the Google folks. We'll see how that plays out. Now, I never considered that there was an app for this, but I'm not surprised that there is.
No.
It makes perfect sense that you would have this, but Google is saying, no, we cannot have that.
Not so sweet. Google responds to quote-unquote sugar daddy Play Store app bans. So they're banning lots of apps that are sugar daddy apps, which is a thing where it's not exactly prostitution.
I don't know. I think it is.
Yeah. Are they worried about people being trafficked on these sort of platforms, or like?
I think I just don't want to be involved in any of it.
From an optics standpoint.
That's bad PR no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, they didn't really say. The comment from Google was like, it's against our policies, and it's just like, okay.
But do you think this is basically just a dating app and it's up to you to work out the financials, or does it somehow have like a system of payment?
Payment thing built in.
Yeah.
There's a series of questions. It's like a Cupid profile or whatever. It's like, how much do you feel comfortable supporting?
It would be awesome if you could rate your pimp or whatever on the app, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, but you have to be super careful about that because a lot of those situations are going to be extramarital.
Oh yeah, that's true. We could have another Ashley Madison type situation on our hands.
Yeah.
So doesn't matter now, right?
Oh, I think I see what you mean about the gas.
I'm telling you, I ate those cookies, and it was like I had a gas turbine engine in my lower colon, just running at full RPM.
Something has just shifted.
Hurry, quick, speed sort.
So that's it's from stevia, but it's not. It's just sugar alcohol, which is a whole different. I was reading about that, and it's crazy because that doesn't count. It doesn't classify as the other things. And they can get away with putting that in a lot of weird stuff.
Are we still able to metabolize it? Because something is going on.
Well, I think less than the other stuff, for sure.
I've eaten just like raw stevia because one of my roommates in college grew it, and it tastes just like sugar. I've never noticed a gassiness from it.
No, this is not stevia, Krista. This is erythritol or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So it's a further refinement of the stevia.
Huh. What did they do to it?
You seem so uncomfortable all of a sudden. Well, have you used Walmart's online stuff at all? I never have.
Yes.
How would you compare it to Amazon?
It's trash.
I was thinking that. I was thinking like, I've never used it, but I bet it's not even close. And who would want it?
There are certain things that Mom insists on that only come from Walmart, and it's an experience every time, every single time. They do delivery now too, kind of. Like somehow, well, this has been about 3 or 4 months ago. I don't know if it's a delivery trial or something, but there was an option to get delivery. And we got the notice on her phone that was like, be on the lookout. You know, they're on their way to your apartment. And so I had to go to her apartment and wait because it was like, okay, I'll help unload or it's going to be a new weird experience. And they just never showed up.
Okay.
And on the app, it was like out for delivery. And like the next day, it was like out for delivery. And finally, I went by the store and you pull into like these parking lot things and was like, what's going on? And they're like, we don't know. We have no idea. We don't see it in our system.
Now, they don't use like Instacart or anything like that, right? They have their own full system?
It seemed like they had their own full system from the steps that we went through, but Mom did some of that, so I don't know.
Well, that horrible system, good news is that horrible system will now be in many other retailers.
Oh, good.
Walmart to sell its e-commerce technologies to other retailers because they've done so well with it.
No, man, I don't want that.
You can buy rebuilt engines on Walmart.com.
Yeah, they've got. I've noticed they have those third parties, kind of like Amazon does,
Yeah.
but it seems like even more of a Wild West at Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walmart has
Everything about Walmart is a Wild West.
They haven't figured out those things.
But they're going to sell it. Great. Well, have you guys watched Black Widow yet?
I did.
It's the hot new release. Oh, what'd you think about it? Now, did you? Now, a little bit of I won't spoil it, but did you, like me, during the early phase of like when they were showing her origin story, did you think she was getting sex trafficked?
Yes.
And it was about to get really dark?
Yeah.
But it did get really dark.
It did.
But then the characters didn't respond to each other as if they had gone through that horrible darkness.
Yeah, it was almost like, it's fine.
It's like,
and it's like, I don't think that's fine.
The worst possible thing that could happen to us as children happened to us, but I'm over it.
So it's like, we got Weinstein, but, everybody's like that on the way up here.
Did you guys go through therapy, or it's like, nope, I just feel okay about it now?
Yeah. It's like,
Was
it's just part of human existence. We all go through that. It's fine.
Well, the Black Widow might have been fine with what was done to her, but Miss Johansson, not fine.
Scarlett Johansson sues Disney over Black Widow's streaming release. Now, she says that there's been a violation of her contract because she was supposed to get royalties on the big screen stuff. And Disney says, okay, you didn't read your contract. The big screen stuff is separate from the streaming stuff. And your contract doesn't give you anything for the streaming stuff.
But in this story, their statement said she would benefit from the streaming stuff.
But not to the same extent?
I don't know.
Or is it just, are they?
Because her side is saying she's not getting that.
But if it was negotiated in such a way where it was like she couldn't have known that streaming was going to come, but Disney knew it was coming, wouldn't that be kind of arguing in bad faith?
Yeah, that's true.
But Disney can pull the force majeure, right? I mean, is COVID not force majeure? If an earthquake is that.
I don't know.
I think they could pull the force majeure if it was like, you're not giving me enough royalties, and it's like, no, this is the royalties that you would have gotten from the thing, because that makes her whole and also doesn't cheat her. It might not be what she wanted, but it also doesn't cheat her.
But
that'd be okay.
But it's also true that they didn't have to do it at all, right?
Yes.
They had all that time.
If they hadn't done it, and then she would also not have, but because they did it, maybe she's got a case.
Now, Disney's response was something like, oh my God, I can't believe that she's doing this during these times of upheaval, and we're all doing And there was one comment that was like, when you start making that argument, you know you're losing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because in court, that doesn't matter.
And how many other people who are not Scarlett Johansson are they screwing over with similar things right now?
A lot of people. There's a guy, there's an author, a prolific Star Wars author that has like cancer or something, and he still has never been paid. And there's tons of authors that are like, no, we bought the rights to your work. We didn't buy the obligation to pay you. And it's like,
That's not how any of this works. Like,
I would think that she's got enough star power. Like
Yeah.
maybe she's just too old at this point and they don't care anymore. But I would think that she would have the star power that they wouldn't even risk this.
it's Disney.
I guess. We'll see. I think she's got a good case.
if her character wasn't dead, spoiler, I guess, they might be like more inclined to try to keep it out of the press. But they're like,
But-
well, she's already gone, so
But this whole movie was a flashback.
yeah.
So
But like I'm saying, like this is the last thing that they have with her. That might be why she's bringing it up too, because she's like, I'm not going to work with them again, so now I can call them out.
That whole industry's messed up.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle has a monologue about how he got screwed in doing business, and he's like, yeah, technically that was the contract, but I mean, come on. And
But do you know how that story ended?
they took it down.
No. He went on social media and he was like, I'm super sad that they stole my money. And the Comedy Central guy was like, all right, we'll give it to you. They gave it to him. Tens of millions of dollars.
But that only happens if you're Dave Chappelle
Right,
or
yeah. Well,
Scarlett
he had
Johansson. Like,
an army of social media backlash that
Yeah.
just followed him, and they
The
had
monologue was amazing because he laid it all out, and it was just like, oh my God, this is incredible.
So
I didn't realize he actually got the money.
Yeah, he got
it
the
should
money.
it should be that way for everybody who gets screwed over by Disney or any other major corporation, but unfortunately, it's not.
Yeah, well, I mean, he didn't know because there's so many degrees of separation, but she knew who she was getting in bed with. I mean, it's Disney, right?
I love the South Park. Whenever there's an episode of South Park with references to Disney, it's amazing.
Oh, the mouse character.
Yeah.
Well, as we said previously, the Chinese government really getting involved with the big companies over there. It's having some effects on the market.
Tencent is world's worst stock bet with a $170 billion wipeout, according to Bloomberg. Basically, Bloomberg has popped up and said, well, China has completely ruined Tencent, any hope that Tencent had of being a world player. Now a whole bunch of other companies are going to fill in. Good luck with what you did, China.
Yikes.
Big yikes.
They tried to do what the U.S. does, and they failed.
Yeah.
So, something tells me that they'll be stepping up even more donations, but it might be too late already. Might be time for some new growth in China. We've learned much more about the Blizzard Activision problems when it comes to behavior in the company, and I did not see all the details. Chris, I think you've been following this one pretty close.
I have been. The latest thing that I saw coming out, well, here, we'll talk about it. Activision Blizzard employees to walk out following sexual harassment lawsuit. There more details have shown up, at least that I've seen. There were images of some of the management suite who they were all gathered in a hotel room around an image of Bill Cosby, and they were calling it the Cosby Suite.
The Crosby Suite. They misspelled it.
Yeah, but not in their text. They also had images of their texts that had been released, and it was like, can't wait to get hot girls in the Cosby Suite, and like they had images of alcohol, and it was just like, wow. It wasn't low-level employees. It was the management.
Do you think you can pull a lot of girls where it's like, hey, do you want to see some of the new WoW assets that aren't out yet?
I don't think that's how
WoW
that works.
hasn't been good since Burning Crusade.
Do you want to look at some of the textures I've been working on? They're pretty hot.
They're stolen from this girl in Germany. She had this amazing book, and she put them on CD. Who does that?
And it seems like, when this kind of thing happens in a big company, a lot of the times they're just like, all right, scorch the earth. Get rid of any mention that these people were ever here because this scandal is too big. And they didn't ever go into detail here. I'm dying to know exactly what they're removing here. Do you guys have any idea?
No, and there's stuff about Overwatch too. WoW will remove inappropriate references following California lawsuit, but they don't say to what. There is a petition going around now to have McCree from Overwatch renamed because he's named after one of the developers who's been caught up in this.
Oh, wow. I think it's that kind of thing, right? Little Easter eggs they put in about themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people are like, McCree needs to be renamed.
That's kind of horrifying. I remember when the Easter eggs in Blizzard games was like, when you clicked on the orc enough times, he would eventually go all Monty Python. It's like, she turned me into a newt, but I got better.
I recently watched that horrible Warcraft movie for the first time.
I've never watched that.
Oh, it's so garbage.
I was so disappointed when the orcs didn't talk like that. I wanted jobs done. But they just talked normal. They talked in perfect American accents.
Yeah. My husband dragged me into theaters to see that several years ago, and I was like, he was super into it. I was like, what are we watching right now?
It wasn't good.
It was not good. Like, I didn't have super high. No video game movie typically is very good, but that one was really
The Mario
bad.
Brothers movie was amazing.
The WoW one was
Are you talking
really
about the
bad.
John Leguizamo
The
one?
live one,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was
King
bad.
Koopa, yeah, it was amazing. What are you talking
Terrible.
about?
Well, this was a zero robot week.
Yeah.
Nobody got anything done with robots this week. But we do have two space stories. You ever gotten in your car and you're super distracted and you thought you put it in reverse, but you actually put it in drive? You ever have that experience?
No.
I think that may have been what happened here.
International Space Station briefly loses control after new Russian module misfires. The thrusters kicked on, and then another set of thrusters that are designed to keep the space station from moving kicked on to try to keep it from moving, but were eventually overpowered by the other set. NASA lost contact for about an hour. It was a real nail-biter.
That's definitely got to concern you if you're up there, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be a real tough time. Tense moments. Probably some angry words were said.
Yeah. They got it under control. They were able to kill the thrusters and get everything operating normally. Turns out it was a tab A into slot B kind of a situation.
Will we ever get a Tom Hanks movie about this?
Yes, we've gotten so many other Tom Hanks movies.
It's been fast-tracked by a studio producer already.
And our final story has to do with the backlash that seems to be nearly universal. And even among people who are big space advocates, they still have a little bit of a bad taste in their mouth about the orbital thrust
The dick measuring contest that is billionaires going to space.
Even the logo from this distance looks a little suspect.
The big question is, did we need to do this? And going forward, should we ever do something like this again?
Oregon congressman proposes new space tourism tax. There's the photo, but I would also call your attention to the logo.
The 45-degree angle of the logo really
doesn't do it any favors.
So this guy's saying we're wasting resources. This is stupid. It's just really rich people flexing on the rest of us. What is the value of it? Now, there is the argument about the whole, like, NASA giving us all the new technology, but we've kind of already put the work in here, right? Do they really need to make the trips?
Are they getting us any sort of research here? And the answer is no.
But will they give us those? Will Bezos give up his $2 billion to NASA if we don't let him joyride?
The answer is also no, because he's selfish.
If someone came to us and was like, "Hey, I got $1 trillion. I'm going to fix all of the interstates, and actually I'm going to build some new ones. It's going to be amazing. They're going to be incredible." But
Amazon should do that.
But I don't get speeding tickets ever again. I'd be like, I kind of okay with that.
Yeah.
If you want to have your little thing. God, why did
the
they...
The difference is like, we're watching a video of it.
Why did they flare the head?
I know.
Is that even good for aerodynamics?
Couldn't they just like put like a baffle under there? Yeah, just to
breakaway foam.
Just to even it out.
Something. It really is the Dr. Evil scene. It really is.
The amount of resources that go into this, it's literally just a joyride. And it's like, couldn't we be using those resources elsewhere? It's not quite the same equivalent as the speeding ticket. The only thing you're wasting with the speeding ticket is paper.
When they park that thing, when they store it, they should make a cover that comes up from the bottom, ties off with a drawstring at the top.
What do we got for Friday?
Security and nonsense. So we'll talk about the big NSO stuff and some nonsensical stories.
I didn't finish my Virgils, but
that's a bad sign. How do you rank that number one? You're not even going to finish it.
It hasn't. There was some shifting, but there's no more uncomfortability. So.
Oh right, the gas. I forgot about that part of it.
So. It's still as far as taste goes, it's still a great orange cream soda, especially for diet. But I would probably have to give you the full verdict after it's had a little bit more settling time.
Time to percolate.
Because if I have after the fact problems, that's going to retroactively affect its grade.
So, if you were going to list like where not to drink that, maybe a movie date.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just a date in general.
This is an experiment at home while you're alone, kind of a drink.
Drinking alone.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys on Friday. Bye.